My name is Alta, and I am a fighter.
Whoa, Alta, hold up. Hey everyone, my name is Kellen Ray, and I'm not a fighter. This is the demo of a game called Wanderstop. What Alta would not want you to know is that Wanderstop is a cozy simulation about running a tea shop, and that she is the main character. You see, she's a champion tournament fighter, or at least she used to be. Wanderstop is developed by Davey Wreden and published by AnnaPurna Interactive. One of the developers, Davey Wreden, dropped a video on the game's store page on Steam explaining why he made this game. He said that after writing the narrative for the Stanley Parable and the Beginner's Guide, he was so burnt out and swore he'd never do that again. Wanderstop was his means of stepping back and taking a break, sort of healing himself with a cozy, undemanding sim about making tea. Back to Alta. She's the character you play, and she's basically the antagonist. She's not the cheery granddaughter that inherited her grandfather's farm. Nope, she used to be one of the best fighters of anyone that could hold a sword. Until she was not. She lost. Hard. And she couldn't understand why. What was wrong with her? Her body just would not obey. And she was tired. So very tired. Meet Boro. Boro owns the tea shop, and while he was out collecting tea leaves, he came across Alta and carried her out of the dark forest to his adorable meadow by the sea. He teaches Alta how to make tea and many other valuable lessons along the way. Boro really is the cozy of this game. He's so genuine and mild and wants Alta to be happy. While he may not understand exactly what she's going through, he knows that she just needs to slow down and tries to help her realize that. He doesn't know much about fighting in tournaments, but he knows about tea. Boro asks Alta what brought her to this area.
Only one person in the world is good enough to train me back up. Master Winters. She was an unrivaled fighter in her time.
You do have some interaction in many of these conversations, but I'm not sure if the answers you choose have any impact on how other characters interact with you. Boro is so mild-mannered, I feel like he'd be a sweetie even if Alta kicked him in the nuts. The demo really encompasses the tutorial of this game, where you learn the basic game mechanics, as well as the first steps of making tea, which is kind of cute. You join Boro in the maintenance room. There, you grab a basket, and he explains how and where to collect tea leaves. It took me a little bit to get used to the controls. The action key is E, but sometimes I felt like it switched to the left mouse button, and that screwed me up a couple times. Just know that this game was made based on using a controller. Even though I was using mouse and keyboard for this playthrough, I do feel like it would be easier to get things done with a controller. I've got a full basket of tea leaves, so Boro has me dump them into the drying baskets. Drying takes several minutes, and you know they're fully dry when they've clumped into a portable tea ball. In the meantime, we head back out to do some gardening, but first he has me retrieve the watering can from the wall. I think the inventory system could use a little work. It feels like a hotbar or a toolbar, but it really wants to be a radial wheel. I kind of would like it to be one or the other because it's confusing when it wants to be both. Having said that, I think using a controller would make the inventory system a lot easier to access. All these drawings that he's showing us are in a plant guidebook that he will give us later. It's nice to have as a reference. Boro explains how different plants can be made into hybrids that produce seeds. This is done by planting seeds in a certain arrangement, then watering them so they grow. Then a different arrangement of plants grow into different hybrid that produces fruits. The fruits are what we will be adding to our tea. So in my first playthrough, this whole planting system made sense to me. But then when I played it again, it really messed me up, and things got ugly. The highlighted area is where the action is going to take place. So I fucked that one up. Now I have to go back to Boro to get more seeds to try again. But he's so nice about it. I manage it that time, but then I go rogue and throw down another seed, because I can. And Boro is so accommodating that if you forget what the next step is, you can always go back and talk with him and he'll walk you through the steps again. The watering can is filled from water spigots. There are several of them around the property. I pull my watering can out of my pocket and head to the nearest spigot. Using the spigot is pretty self-explanatory. Now back to my plant egg, which looks like a cauliflower. A little water and it grows into a small hybrid. More water and it produces seeds. I grab all the seeds off my hybrid. After a quick check-in with Boro, plant the seeds in a triangular arrangement to produce a large hybrid. So this is where I confused myself and couldn't get that large hybrid plant to grow. Turns out I was watering the plant egg when I should have been planting seeds around it in the triangle layout and then watering it. So I'm going to skip to the part where I finally get it right so we can just move on. Oh, Boro, you're just too nice. Here's that plant guide I mentioned earlier. It's a great reference. But now that we've got our chip fruit, it's time to learn how to make tea. I decide to be proactive and grab my dried tea on the way in. The tea machine is amazing, but it works just like you'd expect it to. Water in. Heat water. This part's a little annoying, I'll admit. Move water to tea pitcher. Add tea and desired fruit. Prepare tea for pouring in the Pouramid. Yeah. Get yourself a cup. Pour tea into cup. Enjoy. Alta joins Boro on the bench where he continues his effort to recruit her into helping him with the tea shop. It doesn't go well. Wait. Put my mission on hold? And why exactly would I do that? What are you talking about? You'd think I'm someone who would give up on this? Wait, no. Stop right there. You've known me for 10 minutes, and you're talking about how you think I'd quit? I have devoted every day of my life to this. Every single day for years and years. You have no idea of the sacrifices I've made, the pain I've endured. You can't even begin to imagine it. Do you understand that fighting is the one single thing I've spent my entire life on? I can't give that up. It's not a nerve, it's me. You're talking about me. If I don't find Master Winters, then I can never be the person I want to be ever again. But you think I should just give it up? Live in mediocrity for the rest of my life? Just serve tea and try not to spend every single day thinking about how I had everything and let it slip away? Do you want me to fail? Would it feel good to see the big strong warrior have to fall and cry and beg for help? What am I doing here? Why am I even having this conversation? Why? Why can I not even lift my own sword? It doesn't make sense. I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here right now. Back in the forest, Alta tries, again, to run away from it all. She knows she's tired. She wants to rest, but she just can't allow herself to do it. She's not weak. She's a fighter. She embraces her anger and tries desperately to use it as fuel. But fuel for what? She still thinks she will get better. But ultimately, Boro to the rescue once again. Alta thinks something is wrong with her, and maybe there is. But Boro doesn't see anything wrong other than her being tired. He's not a scientist, doctor, but it is obvious to him that she needs rest, to allow herself to rest. He wants her to relax and heal, to stop using all the energy she has left by focusing on what it would take to be the best again. He tries explaining that if she wants to run, she can, but she might just fall again, and maybe one time it will be for good. He wants her to just heal. And maybe once she's healed, she can start running again. Here's where you're free to run around the area and explore. There are several types of mushrooms around in some areas. I'd guess that they could be grown and hybridized and added to the tea. There are little penguin things that I think Boro raises, not sure, and I don't know why. But you can pick them up and pet them, which is super cute. So you're free to do whatever you want until you speak to Boro again. Now that Alta has decided to slow down, at least for a little bit, Boro tries to keep her focused on anything other than running herself into the ground. She meets him in the maintenance room, and they go over the various tools and their uses. The broom is used for sweeping up leaves, which can reveal trinkets that we can keep. The clippers are for trimming away weeds. He adds more notes to the plant guide, which he also refers to as the field guide. Then he points out the dishwasher. It's this cute little train of cars that moves through a waterfall. Cups can be placed on the train to be washed, and then they are deposited there in the maintenance room to be restocked on the shelf. Boro advises that an apron will help customers know that Alta can help them with their tea needs. She tries to act tough and says she wants to appear intimidating. Boro finds an apron for her that is suitable? I'm hoping that in the actual game we get to design our own apron. I got you, Alta. You'll look intimidating if I can help it. There's one last thing to do before opening. Boro asks Alta to follow him outside. At first I thought this was going to be the part where Boro tortures her. Shoving it in her face that she still can't pick up the sword, but he can. What was he trying to get at here? Then I thought, no, he's going to fling it off a cliff into a deep ocean. But it turns out he's just putting it somewhere safe, out of sight, out of mind, but still accessible should Alta need it. When I first began taking fighting seriously, I decided I would smith my own sword. It seemed like a good idea. I threw myself into it, learning everything there was to know about blacksmithing. But if I wanted to become great, I had to pick only one thing and commit to it, and leave everything else behind. So I picked only one thing, being a fighter. After that, I commissioned a great blacksmith, someone equally devoted to their craft, to make this sword for me. A sword that would let me pursue this one focus and leave everything else behind. I'm not a blacksmith. I'm not a tea maker. I'm a fighter. That's all I intend to be. I'm going to find a way to carry it again. I promise. The sword obviously means a lot to Alta, so I think this could have been done better. Instead of leaving it out in the elements where it can get rained on, struck by lightning, shit on by one of those penguin things, maybe something a little more respectful. Like placing it in a locked display box, but leaving the key where Alta can take it if she desires. Boro asks if there's anything else Alta needs to know before opening shop. He suggests that she can do as she pleases, whatever feels right to her. This demo is free on Steam currently. The game will be released on March 11th. Besides Steam, it'll be on Xbox and PlayStation. This game did hit for me on a personal level, but I won't go into that unless I end up purchasing the game, which I'm considering. Do you like cozy games? I mean, you still get to be a fighter in this one, just retired. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for spending the time with me.